To get started, simply go to nearpod.com, log in as a teacher using your Google account. Students don't ever need to sign in, they just get the link that's shared with them by the teacher. Alright, so the two main types of Nearpod lesson are either live participation or student-paced. You can actually launch the same lesson using both of these methods and either run it synchronously or asynchronously. We'll dive in a little bit deeper into both of these types of lesson later on in this video. When you click the Create tab, you're going to notice that you have some options for how to create a lesson. For the majority of this video, we're going to be creating it directly in Nearpod, but note that you can actually turn an existing Google slide presentation into a Nearpod lesson as well. After clicking on the Lessons tab, you can go in and title your lesson anything you would like. You can always change this at any point too. At the heart of Nearpod are two main categories where you're going to build your lessons. There's content, and then there are activities. We're going to go into a lot of detail of each of these features that you're going to find within content and activities throughout this video. So we're going to actually go ahead and start with content. One of the newest features in content in Nearpod is adding video. Not just adding video, but actually incorporating your own questions into a video. And you can use any of the existing videos that you'll find in the Nearpod library. You can upload your own, or you can go over into YouTube and select, using the search menu, any video that you can find. This is very similar to Edpuzzle if you've ever used that platform. So Nearpod has kind of taken that idea and adopted it, and you can incorporate it directly in there. So it is an outstanding tool, a way that you can use content that already exists, educational content that you can find, and then personalize it for your students. You can either add open-ended questions or multiple choice questions into your video. You can go ahead and type in your question, add your answer options, and then you can drag it anywhere you want in the video, and you can add multiple questions throughout the video where students will have to answer and submit a response before they can go on to the rest of the video. This is also a great alternative to having to stream videos for your students over Zoom or another platform, so that they don't experience any lag on their end. They just click play when they're ready. So one of the most fundamental and straightforward ways to create content for your Nearpod lesson would be to create slides. And you can do this in a variety of ways. You can add text and video. You can add images. You can change the theme over on the right-hand side that you can see there. And then you can change the number of elements that you include. And it doesn't have to be created from the ground up. You can have pre-existing PowerPoints or Google slide presentations or Keynote that you can then convert over into Nearpod. So there are some different methods for doing that, but right here I'm just going to show you what you may want to just play around with and adding a picture. You can search the internet directly from within Nearpod, find an image that you want, resize it. You can change the elements so that you can add a title over top, or you could change it to, say you want 4 different elements and add a video on one side, a picture on another, so you have a ton of different flexibility for how you can incorporate slides. If Nearpod only existed because of this next feature, I think it would be worth it. Because you can incorporate any website into your interactive Nearpod presentation. It doesn't matter whether it's student-paced or live presentation mode. When the slide advances, it automatically opens up that website for the student. So you don't have to share a bunch of links. You're really only sharing one 5-digit code or the Nearpod link, and then it's acting as a nest for everything that you may want to take a student through. You'll just want to be sure that whatever website that you're sharing, if it's a collaborative tool like Padlet, for example, you're just going to want to make sure that the link is shareable so that when it opens for the students, they can collaborate on it as well. Simply copy and paste the URL into web content. You can test the link if you want. Click Save, and you've added it. Flocabulary is a partner tool with Nearpod. You may find that it skews a little younger, but it's worth checking out the library of content just to find new and engaging ways and fun activities for students to learn different vocabulary. Nearpod's growing collection of 3D models is truly amazing. You can go in, search by category, find lots of different subjects just to give students a new and immersive way to explore and experience different information in engaging ways, particularly if they're on an iPad, but it's also just as engaging on a computer as well. Even when you're conducting a live Nearpod session, when you're advancing the slides, students have their own control over exploring each 3D model and pinching and zooming and seeing it in their own way. If you're a math or science teacher, you're probably already familiar with PhET simulations. It's a company out of Fort Collins, Colorado, and they have a ton of content within Nearpod here. So you don't even need to go to a PhET simulation website. You can just add them directly within platform. So you can see by category: math, science, elementary, middle, and high school. And these models are, when you choose one, I'll find one right here, you can see that the simulations are not only visually appealing but super interactive. Students can go in and plug their own variables in, and it will apply them as they toggle back and forth. If the ability to take kids to different websites is my favorite feature of Nearpod, this has to be a close second. Having students be able to go into VR and go into 360 images from around the world and really explore and give context to what they're studying is a fantastic opportunity for students. So you'll notice that it partners with 360 cities. You could go directly to the website and plug in that website URL, but you don't really have to because there are a ton of different examples right within platform here. So you just look at, you search for what you're looking for. Here's the Louvre. We're going to go ahead and find, you can go outside, inside, wherever you want. Notice that it's not limited to just Earth. There's some great images from Mars rover. So just for the opportunity to kind of explore and have the students in their own way look around, they can. If they happen to have either Google Cardboard or something fancier, they could even pop in a mobile device and look around in VR. Desmos has long been a favorite tool of math teachers, and while you can still use the website to plug in and the broader platform as a URL, you can also notice that it's directly built in Nearpod. So you can find a ton of different models in math, some in science, and just like the PhET simulations, students can go in and manipulate their own data. You can go in and edit things. So if you wanted to find something, assign it, and change up the data, you could do that. And then in a lot of cases, the students can actually submit their answers directly from the model and the graph. Most of them operate like that. There's a pretty large collection of BBC educational videos directly in Nearpod that you can plug in. That's also a nice alternative to having to stream videos, since you can have them play on their ends without experiencing any lag. But because you can take kids to any website, including YouTube, you may not find everything you're looking for here, but it's nice to know that this exists as well. Microsoft Sway is just another opportunity to show content about a variety of topics. You can create your own in Microsoft Office 365, or you can go into the library directly in here and see what they have. You can either teach it synchronously and share your screen and have the students view it that way, or they can view it on their own. They can collaborate with partners. There are a lot of different ways that you can use this tool. And you'll also notice that if you go up top in settings, you can control animations. You can also turn on accessibility. So it gives different learners different ways to receive information. So it gives them lots of different ways to visualize information. So a couple more options for content. You can add slideshow or audio. So if you wanted to, you could incorporate an entire PowerPoint that you already have saved somewhere else, or a different format of a slideshow that you've prepared, and add that directly in that way. You can add audio in here as a nice additional component should some students really benefit from that as well. And as a PDF viewer, you may wonder, well, why would I want to add a PDF if I could just add that into a slide? Well, if you use PDF viewer, then you can actually scroll an entire document, doesn't matter how long it is, vertically. So it's all in one place, and students can click on that and save as well and print.